Hare Krishna, my dear friends. So here we are, finally, verse 29, the beautiful hymns of Brahma, spoken so sweetly, the most amazing poetry in the world, in my opinion. And besides the fact that these beautiful verses are appearing, today is also Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance day. So Krishna is appearing today, these verses are appearing today, just so beautiful and auspicious. I'm blessed, blessed, blessed. So let's start. I'm going to just chant the verse all the way through, and then we're going to break it down, okay? And if you're unfamiliar with this verse and the meter, I have another video which you can skip to first, and it goes through the meters, and it also helps you memorize a few of the verses. There should be a video for memorizing 29, 30, 31, and verse 1. So 4 videos, okay? So let's start. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpavriksha lakshavriteshu sudabir abhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra sata sambrama sevyamanam Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, starting from the bottom, I worship Govindam, Bhajami, I worship Govinda, who is the Adi Purusha, the original person, the first person, the source of all things. So I worship Govinda, the original person. And Bhaja means who I adore. It's worship. It's worship in English. We mean like non-reverential, but here bhajami means like I adore, I have affection for. So Govindam Adi Purusha Tamaham Bhajami. I worship, I adore Govinda, the original person. And so to start, this verse starts with Chintamani. Now if you remember in verse 2, let's scroll back to verse 2. Here in verse 2, if you remember, it says, Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatparam Tat Karnikaram Tad Dhamma Tad Anantamsa Sambhavam. Anantamsa means a spark, a little piece of infinity, indescribably small, immeasurable, infinite piece of divinity is Anantamsa, Ananta Amsa, little piece. And this little spark of infinity is what this beautiful lotus or Gokula is created from. And the whole spiritual universe is created from this Anantamsa. And the translation is, the highest realm is Krishna's abode called Gokula. Now we're speaking about Goloka, but it's the same thing. Goloka, Gokula are the same thing. It is described as a 1,000-petaled lotus. The residence of Krishna is the center or whirl of that transcendental lotus, which springs from Krishna's aspect of divine infinity, known as Balaram. And in this verse, in the purport, it goes through and explains that Balaram, Ananta, that little spark, creates all of Gokula, everything, all stuff within the spiritual universe is made of Ananta. So now going back to our verse, verse 29, here, the very first word is Chintamani, and Bhaktisiddhanda is calling this touchstone. And inside this purport, Bhaktisiddhanda calls it the philosopher's stone. And it's because, here, philosopher's stone, there is no real translation to what Chintamani is. But you can see here, touchstone, in a place where the spiritual abodes are made, surrounded by countless desire-fulfilling trees. So Chintamani, the spiritual abode, is made of Chintamani, or in other words, Anantamsa, the spark of infinity. So like gems or an infinite beauty, sparks of Ananta. It's just kind of an indescribable thing, but whatever it is, it's infinite, it's beautiful, it looks like gems and gold, and it's the materials which makes up this spiritual universe. And so to read the translation first and then to break it down maybe a little bit easier. I worship Govinda, the original person, who is tending the cows in his abode made of transcendental gems. So this Chintamani, this Anantamsa, is the makeup of this spiritual universe. Like here we have earth, water, fire, air, and those materials make up the stuff. This shirt is a combination of those in some way. My body, this universe. The spiritual universe is Chintamani. Okay, so let me read the translation again. I worship Govinda, the original person who is tending the cows in his abode made of transcendental gems, Chintamani, and surrounded by countless wish-fulfilling trees. This divine place is inhabited by Surabhi cows who are under his loving care. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis, goddesses or gopis. So let's dig in and find those treasure translation bits. Chintamani is touchstone. Now, touchstone is if you're trying to find out if something is gold, you take this specific kind of stone and you rub on it, and then if the gold comes off on the stone, then it's real gold. So the stone itself is covered with gold, and it's very beautiful, and it's a special thing because it can tell what's gold. Now, a philosopher's stone, as Bhaktisiddhanda has here in his purport, is kind of a mysterious thing. Essentially, it's an alchemist's dream to create a substance that, when touched to another substance, that substance turns into gold. And also, it's said that the philosopher's stone, when taken like into a powdered form, one becomes eternal. It's like an elixir. So this is a very mysterious item. And so to put that on Chintamani, to say Chintamani is philosopher's stone, is basically saying it's just like this incredible, mysterious material. Okay? Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vriksha. So the whole place is built on Chintamani, and it's surrounded by kalpa vriksha trees, countless kalpa vriksha trees. So when you go to the spiritual world, first it's made of this beautiful material, which is like gems. It's self-luminous. That's the other thing. There's no sun or moon in the spiritual world. The world itself is self-luminous. And there's all the trees, I don't know if all the trees, but it's surrounded by kalpa vriksha trees. Now, a wish-fulfilling tree is a tree that grants you the Purusharthas. And the Purusharthas, if you remember, are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Religious principles, Dharma, Artha, like piety, pious life, kamas, all of our desires fulfilled, and moksha, liberation, but not liberation to Goloka, but liberation to become one with the divinity in Brahman. And so regular kalpavriksha tree gives you these purusharthas, but in the spiritual world, the kalpavriksha tree gives you loving engagement with Krishna, bhakti, the highest treasure. So this place is Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpavriksha, a beautiful place made of Chintamani stones with Kalpavriksha trees all over the place. Laksha Vrateshu Surabir Abhipalayantam. And a lakh, we know what a lakh is. A lakh is 10,000. So this is a lakh. Let's see it here. Let's see, right here. Laksha Avriteshu Surabir. And so here, laksha vriteshu siddhabir. Laksha, a lakh means, lakh means like a 10,000, or limitless. Surabhi cows. And a Surabhi cow is a type of cow that gives milk, but that milk fully satisfies your hunger or thirst, and also gives one the mood, the feeling of devotion, bhakti. So these Surabhi cows are full of devotion, and by drinking their milk, one feels a great mood of love towards Krishna. Very beautiful. And then abhi palayantam means nicely taken care of. So far the land, Chintamani, is full of these kalpavriksha trees. There's tens of thousands or millions of Surabhi cows all around, and they're very beautifully taken care of. And then Lakshmi Sahasrasata means that Lakshmis who are serving Krishna, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Sahasra means thousand, and Sata means 100. So hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis, or goddesses of fortune, or also gopis are called Lakshmis, are there serving Krishna with awe and reverence. They're engaged in the most respectful sambrama sevamanam. So hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or gopis are engaged in the most respectful service. And then the final line, which is a line repeated throughout all the Brahma-samhita hymns, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. To Govinda, who go means the senses or the cows, and Avinda means to protect, who is the Adi, the original person. To that person I give my bhajan, my worship, my adoration. How beautiful is that? Okay, let's read the translation again, just so we really have it, and then we'll read the purport. Let's read Bhaktisiddhanta's translation. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the original Lord, the first progenitor, the Adi Purusha, who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or gopis. Hare Krishna. We'll read the study guide purport, and it starts, the term Chintamani refers to a transcendental gem. Just as Maya, the material energy, constructs our physical universe using the 5 elemental materials, the spiritual energy known as Chit has created the spiritual realm from these divine gems. These Chintamani gems, the materials used in creating the divine abode of the Supreme Lord in Goloka, are far more precious and pleasing than any philosopher's stone. The wish-fulfilling trees, or kalpavriksha, usually provide fruits of virtue, wealth, desire, and liberation. Remember the Purusharthas. However, the wish-fulfilling trees in Krishna's divine abode deliver countless varieties of fruits of divine love. The wish-fulfilling cows, known as kamandhenus, typically provide milk, but in Goloka, these cows offer vast oceans of love-filled milk in the form of divine nectar showers of spiritual bliss, satisfying the hunger and thirst of all pure devotees. Laksha and Sahasrasata suggest countless numbers, because these are actually numbers. Laksha means 10,000, Sahasra means 1,000, and Sata means 100, so this is 100,000, but he's saying it means unlimited. Sambrama or Sadhara indicate a state of being filled with love. Here, Lakshmi refers to the cowherd girls or gopis. The term Adi Purusha refers to the original first Lord. So beautiful. Oh my God. We're so fortunate to have these amazing verses. So I'm just going to say it one more time because it is our first verse. We're not going to spend this much time on all the rest of them, but how can we not? Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpavriksha laksha vriteshu sarabir abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Hare Krishna.